Okay, here I've opened up a science fiction city that I've created in order for you to see the feeling for what we're going for. The gray area in the background would be the perimeter that you just made. Mine obviously looks a little bit different. And then there's roads. We see some cameras that are animated on a path. And there's a variety of buildings. We're focusing on the buildings right now. This is like a blimp or something. So there's all sort of sizes of buildings, and probably more importantly, varying heights. There's also roads. We're going to talk about how to make those. So if I pan around, I'm going to see something sort of interesting, and that's there are similar styles of buildings that have a similar look, but they aren't exactly the same. And what that means for us is that we're going to make the basis of a few buildings and then modify them so they're not exactly the same. That way we have a family or a look for a building without total repetition and conformity. So I can see this all over the place in these buildings. For example, these two have a similar style. One's taller than the other. Okay. There's these two have a similar style. Alright, but they're not exactly the same. These guys here all have these bridges, but they're not the same. But they started out the same, and at a certain point they were cloned and modified. Same with these guys over here. I've got one here and one here, and they're similar rounded structures, but they're not exactly the same. So we have a little bit of variety, and then that way, we're going to be able to create different views. Like I could make a camera move here or there. It all depends on what we want to do. Well, we're going to have something interesting to look at no matter where we are in the scene is pretty much the idea.